Alright, ladies and gentlemen, trying to make a video here. So, first I'm going to start with an update of my gearing progress, and then I'll go into how things are changing for me from a mentality perspective. So, I've got my enchanting basically maxed out, so I'm able to enchant my rings. There is no stats to rings right now, even though Wowhead says there should be. I've got my Jade figurine trinket, thank God for that. This thing is just absolutely amazing. In theory, in arena, I'll have this thing, and then PvP trinket. I've learned to love my PvP trinket again, so it is what it is. I gotta get this neck swapped out for a plus healing MP5 neck, and I gotta get this cape swapped out for a plus healing MP5 neck. That's going to cost me like 50 badges of justice, so I need like, what is that, like 34 more badges of justice, and we'll have that pretty much good to go. And then I need Exalted with all doors in order to get the better shoulder enchant. Is it shoulder enchant or is it head enchant? I forget which one. No, no, no. It's got to be the better plus healing shoulder enchant. And there's one more thing I gotta do. I gotta put +6 all stats on chest piece. I'm waiting to get it out of the arena, so when the next week rolls around, I'll buy the arena chest, Lamellar, of course, and then I will end up enchanting that with 6 all stats. There's one more thing I needed to do, but I can't remember what the hell it is. Whatever. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, so basically what's happening with my mentality right now is the arena is actually a lot smaller than I remember it. Like when I was playing in Phase 5, I was with a really good rogue who I think had 5 out of 5 vial poisons and was just slowing things like really, really well. So getting 30 yards from anywhere is actually quite outranging things like by 30 yards in the arena is actually quite difficult. I was wondering like how bad it would be type of a deal. So like if there's fighting going around this pillar, I'm probably barely 30 yards away from it, right? And I'm already kind of in like a weird LOS position while here in the arena. Let's put this on in case we get into a fight. Yeah. Let's set up just in case we actually have to fight. All right, cool. What am I trying to say here? So you're still able to outrange like 20-yard CCs, like 8-yard CCs, 10-yard range CCs. So we're talking like Rogue's Blind, Rogue's Gouge, Priest Fear. The Earth Shocks have a 25-yard range when they get their set bonus. Blah 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 blah. Right. So those are pretty easy to outrange if you're playing with an arena partner that's actually really good at like slowing the enemy. But if they're not good at slowing the enemy, then it just is what it is, right? What this is doing is it's causing me to devalue literally everything in the ret tree. So literally everything in the ret tree is being moved over to the holy tree, like unironically, like every single point, all 16 points I currently have in the ret tree are being moved over to the holy tree. This is where my brain is at right now. And I'm all in on Flash of Light healing, which is why I wanted to set up this gear really fast here to get close to like 1200 plus healing without an actual book or anything, so we can actually look at Flash of Light's healing really quick. Um, I'm going to have an entire conversation on the subject of Flash of Light healing. Paladin healing in TBC is incredibly bizarre. Um, it's bizarre because let's get this up. Let's drink to full, and I'll have this conversation while I'm trying to ooh myself with flashes of light. Paladin healing is bizarre because what basically when you compare it to every other healer. Um, Actually, let me fly up in the air and we'll look at the talent points really fast before I go into like pure unadulterated autism mode concerning flash of light. Keep flying. Someone might be able to kill you. Keep going up, 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 up. All right, we should be safe now. Okay, cool. Let's look at the actual stats. Okay, so this is the gear that I'm planning on going for. I'm gonna buy this for like 25 badges of justice. I've already got the shield out of AQ40, which has my bad, not AQ40, lol. Karazhan, which has a good MP5 on it. This neck has really it's about, I want to make my intellect bar thicker and get more MP5 if possible. And then the plus healing gear is there because we're basically all in on trying to make Flash of Light actually viable. You can see that our HP remains almost identical to what you just saw, but our mana is going to go from like 8,300 to like 8,000 to like 9,000. That's a significant increase in our mana bar. Plus healing is, where are you at, Mr. Plus Healing? Spell power, plus healing. Okay, this is Gavel of Pure Light. No, that's right. Stamina. Where the hell is the plus healing? Should be spell. Okay, yeah. So it's like 1100, some are so odd plus healing, but that's with this stupid book on. This is the wrong book. I don't even know why this book is here. Yeah, okay. Well, oh, because I didn't switch it over. You actually want this one, not Botanica. It is the blood sport one. Yeah. Increase flash of light by 79. So we're going to be very close to about 1200 plus healing, which is why I was doing those flash of lights. But look what's happened with the talents. So we basically abandoned our position on the right side, like literally in the ret tree, and we've gone all the way down into the holy tree. Specifically to pick up 3 out of 3 improved healing light. At that point, you have like 13 talent points left over, and your options are to like go into the ret tree and pick up like, you know, Pursuit of Justice. But the arena is so small that Pursuit of Justice I don't think is doing all that much for us in the arena. And I've calculated how much DPS improved judgment of is worth. It's worth about like plus 25 DPS, somewhere around there. So we can actually, if we're devaluing Pursuit of Justice, we can literally just strip all remaining 13 points out here. 4 of them went here because there was almost nothing better. Here, I'll strip these points out really fast so we can look at it. Right, so we ended up getting 5 out of 5 illumination. We're getting Unyielding Faith. Unyielding Faith is kind of weird. I kind of need to do some playtesting with Unyielding Faith. So fears such as Priest fears, Warlock fears, and I think even Warrior fears are breaking pretty regularly and pretty consistently when you get damage dealt to you. But I don't know if it's a resist check every time you get like damage dealt to you. It's like a resist check with like, you know, 10% of the damage that was dealt to you gets converted into an increased percent chance to resist. Like, is that the actual coding formula behind how we're breaking out of fears from damage? Blah 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 blah. So unyielding faith and being in like shadow resist aura might really help you break out of those fears like super fast. I would need to do like quite a bit of testing on that. But we're taking unyielding faith basically for what it's worth. But really it's healing light. Healing light is worth, as far as your flash of light is concerned, something stupid like 400 plus healing or some crud like that. So as you saw in the arena there, my flashes of light are healing for about 1,000, somewhere around there. It'll be more if we had the book. I'll factor that in technically. So it's healing for about 1,000. Okay, we'll just say 1,000. Healing light will increase that by like 12%, which is like 120. I would need like 450, I think, plus healing at like flash of lights, like rather pathetic 0.4 spell power ratio in order to get somewhere in that vicinity. Damn, okay, maybe a little bit too much. 380 times 0.4 equals, okay, so is it like 350 times 0.4 equals, okay, maybe it's only worth 300. 300 plus healing times 0.4 equals, okay, yeah, so it's worth 300 plus healing. So each of these talent points is worth like an additional 100 plus healing, which is kind of insane. Right, so you end up having these 4 talent points that you can kind of do whatever the hell you want with. You could put 3 points in Peer of Heart if rogues are really pissing you off. But I'm playing a dwarf, so that's not really anywhere near as big of a factor if I was like a Blood Elf Paladin. Then you have like 1 spare talent point to put over here in Combat Expertise. And you can see that we're barely hitting our 11,000 HP breakpoint in current gearing. Since I'm a dwarf, I'm kind of devaluing Peer of Heart quite a bit, and I'm putting the additional 4 points over here just to make myself a bit thicker. And you can see that the gear here is kind of where I plan to try to be like next week, like somewhere in that vicinity. I made a mistake and got the Violet Eye Trinket. It's got Critical Strike on it, which isn't the worst thing in the world, you know, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to pick up the Gladiator's chest next week. I already have the Gladiator's helm. And then I'm going to try to get enough marks that I can buy a Bishop's Cloak and then get a Necklace of Eternal Hope. Okay, let's look at the MP5. You can see the MP5 is 47. With our Blessing of Wisdom, that's going to shoot up to, like, you know, 88 MP5 if you really want to, and it's probably where you want to be. There's also a better ring than this Violet Eye ring. This Light Wardens, which means I want like the Halo or some shit like that. Yeah, Band of Halos. I think this is what I have on my Paladin. You need Magtheridon's Head for this thing. That'll crank up your spell power definitely to 1200 spell power. And then our MP5 is even, yeah. So we're very close to, like, what's that, 94 MP5? Okay, cool. So now that I've done all this setup, let's talk about why the heck we're even doing this in the first place. So if the arenas are this small, it's kind of like a pro and a con. So, and keep in mind that every arena is small as fuck if nobody is slowing anything, right? So if you're playing with a warrior and he's not hamstringing anything, the ring is small as hell. If you're playing with a rogue and he's not like vile poisons and isn't psychotic about putting crippling poison and everything, the arena is small as hell. So because the arena is small as hell, we don't really need that movement speed like I was talking about, which is causing this talent shift. Like, I've got the 15% movement speed right now. Do I? Yes. Retribution tree. Yeah, I've got the 15% movement speed, but it's not really doing anything. Your ideal positioning as a paladin in the arena is kind of like something like this. Like, this is kind of your ideal positioning. Your tank, you don't want to be pillar humping, and we'll talk about why in a second. But you want to be kind of like right here, where if combat is taking place over here around the pillars, you are technically 30 yards away from it. Like, that's easily more than 30 yards away, but it's going to be within flash of light range, like no problem. You don't want to be over here because there's definitely more than 30 that this would be really difficult to heal from. This isn't too bad from a healing position, but basically your ideal situation as a paladin is that you find a good place to park your ass, like have good LOS on everything, and then your arena partners basically keeping your enemies slowed like a motherfucker, so that if they're running at you to CC you, you can easily, like, you know, back away and heal, run away a little bit and heal, you know, hodge stun them, that sort of thing. It's not that big of a deal. And you do have good range, like nothing's going to earth shock you, even though it's a 20 yard range. What else is not going to come your way? Succubus Fear, like, you know, no, Warlock Fear, 20 yards. Succubus Fear is 30 yards, you know, blah, 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 blah. A Mage of Slowed is going to have to blink to get on top of you. But there's a lot of combat that usually is happening, like, right in the middle. Like, right where I'm about to consecrate is often where a lot of fighting is taking place. And there's just no real a distance for you to get anywhere near 30 yards. Like, the best you can do is kind of like, you know, back here type of deal. And then Blade's Edge Arena is its own. It's basically tiny as hell. Okay, so what's happening? Well, what's happening is it's causing me to greatly devalue Pursuit of Justice. And because I'm devaluing Pursuit of Justice, suddenly every talent point over here is coming into question, which is getting moved over to here. And because we're picking up 3 out of 3 healing light, it's causing me to be like, okay, we're already thick enough, you know, HP wise. Let's go all in on Flash of Light. Now, I'm going to talk about why Paladin healing is fucking weird in TBC, and why you're considered to be one of the weakest healers in all of TBC. I want to actually try to myself. Yeah, we'll assume that got purged off while I'm talking about this. So, let's talk about Holy Light. So Holy Light has a 2.5 second cast time, and she heals for, like, you know, X HPS, like whatever the hell that HPS is. So you can see that my heals here are somewhere in the vicinity of like 1,000. Okay, let's do a Holy Light really fast. That's probably going to be like 32 hundo, somewhere around there would be my guess for these Holy Lights, these max rank Holy Lights. So we're looking at 1100 and 32 hundos, like something like that, right? Um, I can do the math on this really fast. 3200 divided by, I do believe it's 880 for a holy light. 840. Okay, divided by 840. You can see that the mana efficiency on your holy light healing is like barely 4 to 1, and that's if we factor in like a critical and illumination and all that stuff. Like it's probably like 4 mana to 1 heal. Whereas these flash of lights are 180, so that would be 1100. I'm gonna say 1100 because you got to factor in like the critical strike chance. Yeah. Divided by like 180 is like 6 to 1. You start factoring in illumination, it's like 7 to 1. The TLDR on Flash of Light and Holy Light as healing spells is that the HPS of your Flash of Light is noticeably less than Holy Light, but its mana efficiency is like double. This does not translate to like Shaman healing. So, for example, Shamans have their lesser healing wave, which is 1.5 second cast time. It's literally like the same cast time as your Flash of Light. That thing has the same mana efficiency and healing efficiency as Holy Light. It's literally the exact same spell as Holy Light, mathematically speaking. It's just on a 1.5 second cast rather than a 2.5 second cast. That alone makes Shaman healing noticeably better in the arena than a Paladin because they essentially have a 1.5 second cast fucking Holy Light. And they don't even need to like talent forward or anything. Holy Light does get a little bit better if you go deep enough into the Holy Tree to actually make it like a 2.0 second cast. But 2.0 in the arena is still fucking terrifying and it doesn't really improve its mana efficiency whatsoever. It just increases its HPS. What this means is that if you're stuck using Holy Light in the arena as a Paladin, you are objectively the worst healer in the entire game, like, period, end of story. It's really Flash of Light where Paladin begins to actually be a decent healer worth talking about in the arena. So, what you want to try to do is, and I was hoping we would get there, if we can make our Paladin tanky enough that nobody really wants to touch us or mess with us in the arena, or we're kind of like don't have to worry about our HP bar, we're very, very difficult to kill. The next thing for us to do is to do whatever it takes to get enough plus healing that we can bring our Flash of Light online. Let me, no, I just don't want, to bring our Flash of Light online. And that requires you basically to go all in on plus healing 6 ways from Sunday. Because Flash of Light is innately not very mana efficient. So as we saw there, we had like 3,200 Holy Lights. If I divide that by 2.5, you can see that the HPS of that thing is almost 1,300. And then over here, actually, I probably have to kick that up because you can't rely on Holy Light crits. It's a bit of a problem. So we'll say it's 1,300 healing. And then our Flash of Light was like 1,100, and then we're going to divide that by 1.5, I think, which is only 773. So you can see that the Flash of Light HPS is noticeably worse than the Holy Light HPS. I wouldn't surprise me if I have to multiply this by... what do I want to do here? Is it divide? I think it's divide by 3, multiply by 4. Yeah, so let's divide, let's take the 7, I'm going to say 735 for the sake of my sanity. We're going to divide this by 3 equals, we're going to multiply it by 4. Oof, okay. So 245 times 5? Jesus Christ. Okay, so what this is basically telling me is that, what was it? It was like, yeah, it was 735 times 1.7. Fuck off. 7.5? Oh my god. 735 times 1.75. I'm trying to figure out just how much more efficient the Holy Light is. So it seems that the Holy Light is something stupid like 75% increase on your HPS output. objectively stupid. Actually, I don't have the talent points either. Let me recalculate here really fast. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's about 11 hundo. Yeah. Okay, so let's pull up a calculator here. So we're currently at like 1100. Those talent points are going to kick that up to probably about 1200. But then the Holy Light's also going to be kicked up by like 12% or some shit like that. So 32% gets kicked up by like another at least 10%. So it's like 35 hundo, and then we divide that by 2.5, which is 1400. Divide this by 1.5, which is 800. Yeah, and then you have that 75% more efficient crap again. Yeah. So it's the same ratio. Okay, cool. I was trying to factor in the 12% increased healing to see if it changed anything, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're going to have about 800 HPS on our flash of lights in the gearing that I'm basically proposing, that I should have available next week. Our holy lights at 2.5 second cast have 1400. The difference is the mana efficiency, right? Holy light is terrible in the arena. A 2.5 second cast is incredibly easy to kick. Not only is it kickable, it's incredibly it's very easy to chain CC into, unlike flashes of lights, and its mana efficiency is complete dog ass compared to a flash of light. So Paladin is a very weird healer in the arena, because druids and priests have instant cast heals that they can use. Their downside with their instant cast healing is that they can be purged off of the target, right? The priest shield can be purged off the target. Prayer of mending can be purged off of the target. Renew can be purged off the target. All the druids' dots can be purged off of the target. So if they're fighting anything that has purge, they're basically forced to use their instant cast healing spells. In the case of druid, shaman, and I do believe priest, all their instant cast healing spells are almost identical to the healing efficiency of Holy Light, both from an HPS perspective and from a mana per 5 perspective. Then you get to Shaman, who they don't. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that no healer in the game has anything like fucking Flash of Light. Flash of Light is this weird spell that is very mana. It's very HP inefficient, but it's insanely mana efficient. If you're following me on what I'm trying to say here. So if I click this button and I go look at my MP5 here really fast, we can see that I'm only at 70 MP5. So eventually I'll end up having like 90 MP5. There's really nothing I can do about it. Let's first do a test on Holy Lights. How long does it take me to with Holy Light? Now in theory I'll have illumination, so that'll definitely help. So we've done 3 Holy Lights so far, 4 Holy Lights. 5, and I'm already at like half mana, right? So five Holy Lights, half mana, not ideal. We'll drink to full. We'll do that again with Flash of Light. What I'm trying to say about Flash of Light is that your ideal situation for a Paladin in TBC is that you get enough HP that you're not a very good burst target. Like, trying to burst you out of existence is incredibly difficult. Then your next stat that you want is to have like an as thick mana bar as you can possibly get your hands on, because the thickness of your mana bar will just let you heal for longer and longer. The thickness of mana bar is superior to MP5 in the arena, but once your mana bar is sufficiently thick enough, your next best stat is MP5, and then there's this weird elephant in the room for your paladin, which is, are we going a Flash of Light or are we going Holy Light? Your ideal scenario as a paladin is to be so thick on the plus healing that you can actually Flash of Light a hell of a lot more than your enemy would like you to, because every Flash of Light is just insanely mana efficient. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're going to be here a while. 17, 18, 19, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, looks like we had 26. Okay, I got 26 in. Jesus, Jiminy Christmas. So, let's let's run some numbers on that really fast, just in case you guys don't effing believe me. So we did 5 holy lights. We'll say like 3,200 each, because that's what we're currently kicking around. We did 5 of those before we were half-life, so we had 16,000 healing over there. But we only took, we want a new calculator. Thank you very much. Or did I, like, resize that one to be too small? Weird. I want some calculators. What the fuck is wrong with you? Does one just bigger for no fucking reason? You're being weirdo. You know that? Anyways, was it 26? 26 flash of lights? I can't remember. Fucking weird. Anyways, 3,200 times 5 equals, and then that was 2.5 seconds of cast time multiplied by 5. So in 12.5 seconds, we burned half of our mana and we healed for 1,600. And then we're like, 26, we should put it over here, 26 times 1.5. So we spent 39 seconds casting Flash of Lights before we were half mana. 1,100 average each. Okay, 1,100, and we classed like 26 of those. Yeah. So hopefully you can see the insane mana efficiency difference here. You start factoring in illumination. You start factoring in the fact that yeah, it's like from a tactical perspective, Flash of Light is better in the arena because they're much harder to kick. They're much less chain kicking friendly. It's not like a holy. You get where I'm going with this. Like a rogue can kick one of them. They can gouge stun another one. If they're kicking and gouge stunning holy lights like that, that's fucking terrible. But if they're kicking and gouge stunning Flash of Lights, it's not going to be very long at all before you're basically spamming Flash of Lights again. Or they're out of kicks and you can get off like, your free crit heal Holy Light, and then you're back in business with the Flash of Lights. Flash of Light is just the tool that you want to try to be using in the arena. But dear fucking God, do you need a lot of plus healing in order to bring your Flash of Light in order to bring your Flash of Light's HP any fucking where near enough to be in the arena with it. Its mana efficiency cannot be underestimated. Like, what is it? I want to say it's doing like 2/3 of the healing. Flash of Light does like 60% of the healing of Holy Light, but it kicks around at twice the mana efficiency. And then the fact that it's taking longer to cast, which means your MP5 has more time to do its job. It's just the better option in the arena. These two are nowhere near comparable. 2.5 seconds of casting to be at half fucking mana for only 1,600 effective healing, versus like, what is this? Like 3 times more. I spent 3 times more 3 times longer healing Flash of Light. But I healed almost twice as much. Let me try to figure out where that would be. 1,600. No, 16,000. Clear. 16,000 divided by 1,100. This will tell me how many Flash of Lights I need. Okay, equals 14. We'll just say 14 for the sake of my sanity. 14 times 1.5. Okay. Yeah, so it's about double, a little less than double. Okay. So I would need to cast for twice as long with Flash of Light in order to get the same amount of healing, but the same amount of 16,000 healing output. But rather than being at half mana, I would be down a quarter of a mana. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. So from a mana, I can't stress enough, from a mana efficiency perspective, Flash of Light is literally insane. And this isn't even the full build, right? Like, I'm literally missing like 15 MP5 right now. No, way more than 15. I'm missing like 25. We go up to 95. So what is that? 20? Yeah, 25. So I'm missing like 25 MP5. Like, holy shit. The other weird thing about Flash of Light is that she's noticeably more down rankable than Holy Light. So you can see here on my bars, I've got a rank 9 Holy Light. So this is a max rank Holy Light doing its thing, right? Like 3,200, somewhere around there. This is the down ranked Holy Light, which costs almost like 200 more. Holy Light gets more serviceable in the arena from a mana efficiency perspective if you downrank the stupid thing, but not by much. So this is like 660 and this is 840. We already know what the mana efficiency of that thing is. It was like 4 to 1 if I recall correctly. But what is the 2 to 1? So this is like 2400, I think. Yeah. We'll say 25 for the sake of my sanity. Okay, so 25 hundo divided by it's 660, I think, right? Yeah. 660. Okay. So that's the mana efficiency of a downranked Holy Light. So primarily you downrank Holy Lights so you don't overheal them. And then we have the 3200, which is divided by like 840. So you can see the mana efficiency is virtually identical in downranking, right? We gained almost nothing in downranking our Holy Lights. That's actually pretty typical for Holy Light, believe it or not. Even with all the plus healing gear, you gain almost nothing from downranking them because they have almost identical. Yeah, I don't know. TBC is just really good about this. All right, let's compare downranking Flash of Lights by contrast. You don't downrank your Flash of Light by much. You basically go to your level 60 Flash of Light, which is like I do believe 140 mana. The 140 mana Flash of Light, which should be rank 6. Okay, cool. And rank 7. Yeah. I remember you can go down at least 2 ranks of this. Okay, so that's that. We already know that one. That's kicking around. Okay, so we lose about, like, what is it, like 100 for 40 mana? That's not too bad, right? That's not too bad at all. And then we go to the 115, which is the lowest down rank you would ever want to do. So yeah, it's looking like you're losing 100 per down rank. This is by far the biggest, right? Because you save 40. So I remember rank 6 is kind of the way to go. So let's kick a few of these around. Looks like it's 900, somewhere around there. Yeah, okay, somewhere around there. Cool. Get these guys going for 40 mana. So yeah, 900. So this is like 1,000 divided by 180. So that's that mana efficiency. And then this is, what was it, like 900, if I recall correctly, divided by like 140, which is that mana efficiency. You can see that the Flash of Light mana efficiency goes up rather considerably. Let's try the another down rank, just in case I'm missing out on something. 750? Does that sound about right to you guys? Yeah, we'll say 750. Fuck it. Whatever. Even though it's probably closer to 740. We'll do 740. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. We want this thing, and then we want another one over here. Can move him over there a little bit. There we go. Okay, cool. So this is like, we'll say 740 divided by 115. Yeah. So you can see that just downranking a single rank of Flash of Light also increases its mana efficiency noticeably. So that's kind of where Flash of Light even is. Let's what? I keep getting this stupid pop-up, and I keep trying to report this idiot. Because unless it's a blue, it's not a... that is not abusive economy. Eat my ass. Inappropriate communication. Like, what do I do? Like, advertisements, spam. Like, we'll just do report for whatever above. So, anyways, that's annoying. Someone do something about that. That's the second day that's happened to me. Right. So, your Flash of Light is so insanely mana efficient that you really want to stack plus healing, if at all possible, to bring this piece of shit online in the arena. And then you even want to go like plus ultra with the plus healing, because you get to downrank the thing and increases its MP5 efficiency by like 25% there, which was 20%, which is insane. Basically, when you're in the arena, you want to use a mix of like downranked Holy Lights. That way you don't overheal. I'm doing downrank right now. I touched my mouse wheel. That's what happened. Downranked holy lights, and then like a mix of like max rank flash of lights to try to keep your ally in check. All right, let's get the hell out of here before I end up getting killed. Okay, because this is me. This looks like me trying to get a mode of air, and I don't want that. I don't want that smoke. Not in here. All right, cool. Let's fly up, and we'll switch on over to the other screen. Okay, cool. Right, so that's kind of what's going on with the healing as near as I can tell. I'll point out that this build right here, where you're taking your ret talents and you're putting them in the holy tree, is very very bad in 1v1s. Like it's not the worst thing in the world in 1v1s, but this is basically heal reckoning. You would much rather prefer the increased movement speed, the increased DPS, and having like 1 to 2 points in eye for an eye. As you can see, the build in the game, I've begun to value an additional point in spiritual focus. I basically took my point out of eye for an eye and I plugged it into spiritual focus. Because even though you have a 92% chance to resist pushback, when that 8% does happen, it's usually like 100%, like a full second pushback, and I just absolutely hate it. Especially with flash of light, it's really really bad to get any kind of spell pushback while you're kicking around Flash of Light. The whole purpose of Flash of Light is that it's fast, right? It's fast and it's incredibly mana efficient. Taking any kind of pushback on it is really, really bad. This problem, of course, solves itself when you rip all the talent points out of here and you put them into the Holy Tree. Also, with 5 out of 5 points in Spiritual Focus, you can play the aura game, so you can switch to a different aura if you want to, giving people, whatever the hell. So in theory, I could strip 3 points out of here, keep the +3 movement speed, and then have 2 points in healing light. Like that might be a better variant of this paladin. But for 1v1s, like for duels and open world stuff, especially if we're going all in on Flash of Light, having the 8% increased healing is the big boy talent for Flash of Light. The illumination stuff is just kind of icing on the cake. But for the arena being such a small, tight, confined area, you could rip out all these points and put them over here. So anyway, that's my long rant about Flash of Light and its importance in TBC. So, gemming, I put the... What the fuck? You are the wrong gem. Don Julio's Heart? It's like Keela's Rose. There we go. There we go. That's better. Let me take a drink of water here. Alright, gearing. So, I decided to put the plus healing Jewel Crafter gem in the helm. Why is this? Well, because it gives me the resilient socket bonus, so it's like whatever, might as well put it in here. You can see that we still have plenty of HP with the 8% increased HP we're getting from combat expertise. Like this is more than enough HP. Like we're even a little too thick on the HP, and the HP is going to get thicker as these pieces get as a few of these pieces get swapped out for arena gear. So that'll put us very comfortably on the HP department. Mana kicking around 9,000 is more than enough mana. In fact, it's an ideal amount of mana, especially when you factor in you do have Illumination and you do have Divine Favor. What else is there? We could, in theory, strip out some of these 12 stamina gems and put them, make them MP5 gems or even plus healing gems, right? So you go like plus healing, and then plus healing and stamina, or plus healing and like critical strike or something here. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Like watch what's happening to our HP. You can still see that we're at the 11,000 hit point break point, so you could easily strip those gems out if you wanted to make them even more plus healing. I have no fucking idea why we'd want to do that, but you could. I would rather err on the side of being a little bit more thick. What are these things anyways? The parry rating, spell damage, it's living ruby, right? So you'd go like living ruby, living ruby? Question mark? Do we only get one of those? Live. What the fudge? Is that like the special unique one that you can't get any more of or some shit like that? Teardrop. Teardrop living. Tear. Really? Yeah, yeah. Come here. Teardrop? Magister's Terrence? Oh, so you can do like the daily and get one of these. That's phase 3 though. Okay, I have no idea what to do with the yellow, so we're just gonna put that in there. It gives you like 4% critical strike rating, so it's like whatever. So you could do something like that. Your plus healing does shoot up to effectively with the Book of Healing, like to 12,800, something like that. So if that might be where this is going, but probably not likely. I think I gotta switch this over to Boar's Stamina, which might drop me too low. Let me think. Boar's Speed. No, we're still at 11,000 HP. Huh, interesting. Okay, so video is already long as hell. I'm running out of ways to explain what the hell is going on here. But basically, our ideal scenario as a paladin is we want to be thick enough on the HP that we are incredibly fucking hard to put down. You can see that we still have Argent Defender and we still have Holy Shield in case something physically gets on top of us. This Holy Shield's going to probably be like a rank 1 Holy Shield, so it's going to be like, 135 mana Holy Shield. It's just there to help mitigate some incoming damage from the enemy. And there's a lot of things that if you block them, they don't actually do anything. Like Gouge, if you block it, doesn't do anything. There's a few other ones that if you block them, they don't actually do anything. I forget what they are. Maybe it's Hamstring. The block also works against Hunter, so that's kind of cool. Yada yada yada. So you do have Argent Defender with 11k HP. What does that even look like? I have to assume that Argent Defender activates at 30% life rather than 35% life due to how its mechanic works. So I can calculate our effective HP here for a hot second. 30, I think that's 3,300, correct? Yes, okay. So this would be multiplied by about 1 point, it's going to be 4 or 5 now that we're missing some of the talents here. Oh, I got to talk about the improved Righteous Fury versus Toughness, derp. And then I add, do we have any additional stuff here? Doesn't look like we have additional damage reduction right now. Okay. Plus 4, 7. I'm going to go 400 for the sake of my fucking sanity. Okay, cool. Yeah, so our true effective HP is like 12,500 HP. Our enemy is going to have to chew through that like twice in order to kill us, so we've got something like, 25,000 effective HP. Your free crit heal is actually best used on you, of all things. So you're like healing your arena partner, you're ignoring your HP, you're healing your arena partner, you're ignoring your HP, and at some point you're probably going to have to bubble yourself. Um, your free crit heal is probably best used while you have to bubble yourself, just to help with like a tempo advantage, if that makes sense. You can get back to healing your arena partner much, much faster. I've begun to devalue improved Righteous Fury just because of it's so mana costly to re-up it, and so many things in the arena have dispel. Like, if I would think about all the matchups in the arena where this thing isn't going to be dispelled off me, it's like Druid Warrior and like Druid Warlock. And the only reason it's still on me with Druid Warlock is because I'm fearing the pet. And in both those cases, we're kind of going all in on killing the Druid. You and your arena partner are going to jump all over the Druid and try to put him in the dirt. So it doesn't even matter that whether you have Righteous Fury up or not. Um, Against Warlock, their only damage is dots. So as long as you're like beating on the Druid and cleansing the dots, the Warlock literally doesn't do any real damage. Versus the Warrior, it's just kind of like, let's just kill this Druid and we'll deal with the Warrior in a hot second. So it's like whatever. Moral of the story is I'm starting to value 5 out of 5 toughness above everything, including Kings. Kings is another interesting example where it's like, yeah, it's really nice to buff you and your arena partner with Kings before you go into combat, but there's so many times it's just going to get purged off of you, and then in circumstances where people aren't going to be purging off of you, which is Druid Warlock, Druid Warrior, and then a couple others, the MP5 is just better. That MP5 buff is super mana efficient. Like even if I got a down rank down here, so 65 mana for 20, that's insanely mana efficient. You get 3 ticks of that, and it basically pays for itself. Your max rank needs almost the same amount of ticks in order to pay for itself. But it depends on how hard you're being purged, right? So Blessing of Wisdom is probably better than just about anything else. Blessing of Light is also insanely mana efficient. Jesus Christ, this might be a downranked version of Blessing of Light. What the balls? Come here. I haven't updated that in a million years, apparently. Boop, 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 boop. Where's my Blessing of Light? This is greater. Nobody wants greater. Yeah. Should be 285. Yeah, 180 mana increases your Flash of Light healing by like 185. Not the worst thing in the world, but from a purging mana efficiency perspective, your MP5 is just probably better. Yeah, so I'm starting to value toughness. This gives you a considerable amount of armor. I can strip that out really quick and show you what the difference is. So without toughness, you're at like 55% armor right now, which is like really, really bad. Let me put 5 points in anticipation. Yeah, we put 3 points in there. I'm putting 4 points in reckoning because I'm not being targeted in the arena anywhere near as much as I would like. And I do believe we've got 4 points left in here. Right, so without the 5 out of 5 toughness, and keep in mind you'd put like 1 point in there would be my guess. You're like at 56% armor, but if you actually do bother to put the points in there. Okay, so strip you out of there. Okay, cool, that's more accurate. That's not right, dickhead. What the? Oh, yeah. You basically gain like an additional 2%. This is massive. You getting 60% armor damage reduction as quickly as possible on your paladin is a really big fucking deal. You're going to get that eventually when this gear gets swapped over to arena gear, when this gear gets swapped over to arena gear. So if I go over here and I go glad. Yeah. We're still doing. No. This is ornamental gloves because of the 2% crit. Right? And just the better stats in general. And no MP5, which sucks balls. Yeah, the stats aren't a big enough of a difference between the lamellar gloves and the ornamental gloves. You might as well get the ornamental gloves. I remember that. But you do get gladiator lamellar pants because they have slightly better oh my god, the ornamental ones have so much more mana. Ugh. So it's like mana or stamina. Take your pick. Fuck, man. I don't even know. Maybe we do go ornamental gloves. I'm glad I picked that up. Jesus. Yeah. So the int is the exact same. This is 28 healing. This is 53 healing. So we might lose some plus healing. But I'm thinking we're going to be much thicker. So I guess we're going ornamental legs. Yeah, because we're going to lose stamina. But we're going to gain a shit fuck ton of intellect. I guess is ooh yes. Ooh. Yeah, and I still have these gems are being weirdos. I don't like these gems here anymore. I want the stam gems because I took the what's it called? The pants and gave up on some stamina. Is this unique? No, it's not. So it's just solid stars of balloons. Solid stars of balloon. Yep. All of them. Okay, cool. That looks better. I'm happy with that. So I guess I took the pants because it's got noticeably more intellect than the stupid lamellar ones. Like the lamellar ones have got like, well, look at that. It's got a shit ton more stamina. It's got 9 more stamina on the pants, but the other one has 11 more intellect. There's also a significant difference. The plus healing is negligible. Every other stat is negligible here. It's just a thicker mana bar. If it doesn't have MP5 on it, you want it thick mana, and we're already good enough on the HP side of things that I would definitely take the mana. But we're here for the armor. Oh yeah, so we're getting really close to 60% armor without even having an armor aura on. Fuck yes, give me this. Like yes, please. Plus healing is probably still really good. Let's go down here and look at our plus healing. Where's it at? Spell, you bastard. Okay, so close to 1200. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, that's about all there's to say. Oh, I put the unique 15 stamina gem in the shoulder. Lamellar shoulder. Fuck. Yeah, that's another thing I got to talk about from a bug perspective. I don't know what's going on with that. Anyways, I put the relatively expensive cut gems into the shoulder because the shoulder is going to be like the last piece you probably get on your paladin. So that's a thing too. What else is there to say? Fucking so much to say here. Oh, I don't know if the set bonuses are busted or something. They said in a blue post they would fix this shit. But you can see I have a Gladiator's Lamellar helmet, and then I have a Gladiator like 3-piece set, but they're not giving me my PvP set bonus for some reason. Maybe they changed that because people were saying that that's how it should work in TBC. Blah 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 blah. But there was basically a blue post a while back that said that they would make sure that the set bonuses would translate. So in theory, I should have my 4 set bonus right now, but I don't. Right? Because I've got 3 of these pieces and 1 helm piece. I should have it, but I don't. So I have no idea what the fuck is going on Blizzard's end with that thing. There was one last thing to talk about. I can't quite remember what the hell it was. Like, why am I doing this over that? Why am I doing this over this? You know, blah, 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 blah. One of these rings is a Magtheridon head turn-in. It's the Light Warden's band is a Magtheridon head turn-in. This one is badges. This one is badges. This one is badges. There are some better ones, like the Karazhan one. It's like a Red Riding Hood's cloak. Same amount of stamina, slightly more intellect at the expense of MP5. These two are virtually identical to each other, but the Red Riding Hood cloak is ever so slightly better. I don't think there was anything better on the neck department, if I recall correctly, for Phase 1. They all the better there just wasn't a plus healing one. Like, it literally did not exist. I'm basically killing time trying to remember the other thing to talk about. Yeah, so stamina, intellect, spirit over MP5. Like, no fucking thank you. I'll take the MP5 to the bank. Pendant of Dominance, Pendant of Triumph. It's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, and then it's just some slave pen shit. It's like, is this any real different? Like, it's whoa, 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 whoa. That's phase 5. Fuck off. Yeah, so you're basically stuck with that neck piece being your best one. What the hell else is there to talk about? Fuck, there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember. Your armor, the devaluing of your stats, your talent points, your HP break points, flash of light being all in on flash of light, doing this, doing that, something about the gems. Yeah, the set bonus being stupid right now, really pissing me off. Resiliency rating. Yeah. Oh, this thing is really fascinating. Let's look at your gladiator weapon. So, in theory, you would be replacing your gavel of pure light with the gladiator's gavel, right? What do we gain exactly? We gain a little bit of intellect when we go to this weapon. We gain a noticeable amount of stamina that we may or may not need, and we gain. This is the wrong weapon. Fuck you, Gladiator Salvation. Okay, here we go. And we gain something like 75 additional plus healing and critical strike rating. We do have illumination, so that critical strike rating isn't really going to go to waste all that much. And if we're all in on flash of light, the plus 75 healing is not the worst thing in the world, but it's coming at the expense of like 8 MP5. So this might be the last thing you possibly get on your paladin. To be perfectly honest with you, this might be like the last thing that you actually get on your paladin. Just because 8 MP5 is actually worth its weight in gold in the arena. Not sure Illumination will make up for the loss of the MP5. I could see the 75 plus healing being a thing, blah, 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 blah. But I would definitely take Gladiator Shoulders over that before the weapon. Assuming you can get high enough rating to get the Gladiator Shoulders. We actually need Lamellar, don't we? So Gladiator, Lamellar, Shoulders. Okay, what changes? Intellect changes, ornamental. Yeah, not a big difference in ornamental and Lamellar. Okay, so you get the Lamellar Shoulders, and you're basically bissed out of your mind. Your armor is very, very close to 60% armor, thank God. Stamina, 11,500 stamina is probably more than enough to get the job done. Mana bar is getting thicker, And then, of course, the final thing that you would do would be a Merciless Gladiator's Salvation. Yes, sir. And then you're pretty much good to go. I don't know if this gets swapped with anything. Can't remember if there's like no Gladiator healing shield, if I recall correctly. It's all just hot garbage. Gladiator's Reprieve. Yep. Gladiator Shield Wall. Yeah, it's all like hot garbage. That's phase 2. It's literally the Karazhan shield to get fucked. I bet my MP5 suffers though. 45 MP5, so I now have, yeah, MP5 suffered. Okay. So, anyways, those are my current findings in the arena, my current thoughts, like where my brain is at on everything, blah, 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 blah. The TLDR, of course, is we're going to bring Flash of Light online. We're bringing Flash of Light online. Dear fucking God, are we bringing Flash of Light online? We are starting to devalue our HP pool because we're just way too thick on the HP and nobody's really targeting us anyways. What's weird about being in the arena, having all these talents in Prot, is that you show up on their screen as a Prot paladin, so they're like doubly incentivized not to attack you, which is why 1 point is getting stripped out of Reckoning and it's either going into Improved Hammer of Justice or it's going into Spell Warding, one of those two. But they're going to be surprised. Your healing efficiency is almost identical to that of a Holy Paladin. You lose Holy Shock. Holy Shock, listen. Yeah, I suppose we have to talk about the opportunity cost of of having Argent Defender over Holy Shock. So you are so deep into the Holy Tree at this point that you start having to ask yourself: is there any reason to having like Holy Shock, to having Reckoning talents and blah 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 yada yada yada? Let me fly up in the air and have this fucking conversation. Up she goes, and then we can have this conversation. Keep it going. Okay, cool. Conversation time. So you might be asking, Pally Time, why the fuck don't we just strip all these points out of the Prot tree, like so, and then just go deeper into the Holy Tree? Like, why the hell aren't we doing that? We put one there. We put like actually we go 5 here. Pick up Holy Shock. Put 3 points here. And then I think you got like a few. I forget how many points we have left. We got 4 points left to our name. Probably put one here, put 3 points here. I remember you get like 3 points in here, if I recall correctly, if you want 3 out of 3 improved Hodge stun. Okay, why are we going Argent Defender as opposed to going with this? Well, the first elephant in the room with Holy Shock is that you cannot have 4-piece Lamellar and Holy Shock. So there's kind of 2 Holy Shock Paladin builds. There's the offensive Holy Shock Paladin build. That one is running 4-piece Lamellar, specifically for not only the plus spell power damage, because they plan on using Holy Shock offensively, but for the much faster Hodge stun. The thing actually does have a 35-second cooldown on Hodge stun, right? The other Paladin build is the more defensive Paladin build. That one runs 4-piece ornamental, because the ornamental set bonus is what is giving you increase your healing of your Holy Shock spell by 30%. You basically have to decide what kind of Holy Shock Paladin you're going to be. Are you going to be the more defensive one that gets 30% healing? That one is much better in duels, right? Or you can go with the Lamellar one. The Argent Defender Paladin can actually roll with either of these. It doesn't really matter. So whether you went with 4-piece Lamellar or you went with all in on 4, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. This Argent Defender Paladin build can kind of roll with either one. If you're in 4-piece Lamellar, you get the really fast Hodge stun, and that's where the thing is really, really good. The Lamellar also has noticeably thicker HP. The noticeably thicker HP can translate into like different gemming for more plus healing, which kind of makes up for the fact that you're not ornamental. So it's just kind of like whatever. If you do have 4-piece ornamental, what ends up happening, and we can showcase that really quick here. Let's keep the helm the way it is, but let's go. Actually, you'd probably have ornamental here. So we want to go glad ornamental, gladiator headgear ornamental, gladiator chest piece, ornamented chest guard. That should get us close to 4, but we need gloves, right? Yeah, so it's gloves, ornamental gloves. Okay, you can see our HP is going down, down, down. Our mana is getting thicker and thicker and thicker, and our plus healing is probably up quite a bit. Where the hell is plus healing? Yeah. So our plus healing is up quite a bit. We're talking about gemming. Right. So the only real negative with the ornamental set is that you, as an Argent Defender Paladin, is that you cannot make use of the 4-set bonus. Right? The 4-set bonus is basically dead to you. Your Hodge stun is on a 45-second cooldown as opposed to a 35-second cooldown. But your stats are really fucking good. Your mana bar got thicker. Your HP bar didn't go down anywhere near as much as I thought it would. Your armor should be virtually identical. And your plus healing is a little bit thicker. In fact, you could swap these gems around and make it even a little bit thicker, or just keep it gemmed that way. So the elephant in the room basically is your Hodge stun, your Hodge stun, your Hodge stun, your Hodge stun. But let me show you something else. So if I strip all the points out here and I start putting the points back over here, remember that our HP wasn't too bad before. It's going to be a bit more interesting. 3 here. Yeah, we put 4 here, 2 here, 2 here. We're going to put 5 over here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oof. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, that's correct. 10,550 HP, really thick on the mana bar. We'll assume this kicks it up a little bit, so we'll say like 5,000 to 10,600 HP. If you recall correctly, that 1100 HP Paladin with Argent Defender was kicking around at about 25,000 effective hit points. By the time you're fully geared, it's going to be closer to 26,000 effective hit points, because you're not 11,000 HP anymore. You're 11,600 HP, and that's going to convert to being even a thicker boy. Add a 0 to that. Let's try to do a theoretical on the Holy Shock Paladin's effective HP. It's literally like 10 point... no, we need 10,500 times 2. This is if you don't Holy Shock yourself at all. If your Holy Shocks heal you for, let's say, 2,000, and you get off 2 of those before you die, we can then add, what was that? That was 21 hundo to that. Okay, yeah. So you can see that even if you're using Holy Shock almost purely defensively, you're barely anywhere near the vicinity of the same HP as the Argent Defender Paladin. And from a, let's counterspell this motherfucker and blow him the hell up perspective, Holy Shock Paladin's effective HP is this. 10,500. Okay, yeah, that's the amount of HP that a mage rogue has to dig through in order to blow you the hell up. They basically just, counterspell you, and then you're stuck there, and they're kamehamehaing on you. That's your standing effective HP. The other paladin, if I recall correctly, had this. 11,600. Yeah. Times 0.7 equals... wait a minute. Yeah. So we'll do calculator here. So it's 11,600 times 0.3, because that's about where Argent Defender is going to activate. I'm going to multiply that by 1.5 for the sake of my sanity, so we got to add another 5,220 over here. It's this. Take a fucking look at this. And this is without even a single point in spell wording, which you could easily pick up. Right? So, in order to counterspell and burst out the Holy Shock Paladin, they only need to get through 10,500 hit points. You have to use Holy Shock defensively on yourself with the 30% healing bonus as a Holy Paladin. And even then, you need to use your free crit heal on your Holy Shock before you get anywhere near the standing effective HP efficiency of the Argent Defender Paladin. Whereas the Argent Defender Paladin, it's like, hey, we counterspelled you, we're going to try to blow you up now. And it's like, okay, cool, you need to to dig through 30% more fucking hit points. Like, what the hell? So if I multiply this by 1.3, yeah, it's damn near 30% more effective HP, especially if you even hawk Tua in the direction of spell warding. Like, goddamn. And you can also precast a holy shield that can't be spell stolen against a possible rogue. So when they actually do open on you, you'll have holy shield active, which increases your effective standing HP even more. If you have any kind of trinkets in the arena that are going to increase your effective HP, which you can, I don't know why we'd want to, but you can. That plays even better. So you might be wondering to yourself, like, why the fuck don't we actually just go pick up Holy Shock and blah, 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 blah. From an offensive paladin perspective, Holy Shock is amazing, right? If your arena partner is a pyro mage, Holy Shock is your boy. But you'd want the lamellar gear with that, right? Not the ornamental gear. If you're going to be the offensive Holy Shock paladin. If you're going to be the more defensive arena partner, you just end up stripping out all these points here, and they start doing this. So you could very easily start stripping out points from Reckoning, if that's not your jam, and putting them over in Spell Warding. That'll definitely make you a fucking immortal turd. I prefer Reckoning. It's just me. Put 1 point in there for what it's worth, and then we got like 4 points over here. This is going to be even thicker with Lamellar. We saw that already. So let's go back to the Lamellar suit. Lamellar helm, lamellar shoulders. I do believe we're also lamellar gloves, and I do believe this isn't phase 2 gear. I'm not doing anything completely clinically insane, right? What do we need? Chest piece, right? Okay. Lamellar, yes, this is phase 1. Lamellar chest. Okay, cool. So we got it all sorted out? Yeah. 11,600 effective HP. This is on a Blood Elf Paladin, too, so be advised. Moral of the story is that it depends on, like how susceptible you are to being bursted out. Like, I hate Holy Shock Paladin eventually in the arena. Like, it's not bad right now, but eventually in the arena, your Holy Shock Paladin has some serious being bursted out of existence issues. And the Argent Defender Paladin basically solves this problem, making you 30% harder to burst out of existence at the literal cost of basically Holy Shock and your inability to really use Holy Lights all that efficiently. But you can kind of also start gemming a little differently. It's like, I don't know, man. There's just so much nuance to this. So it's kind of like season to taste. So your options are 4-piece lamellar, and then you can either be the offensive Holy Shock Paladin is on the table for you, right? And then this Argent Defender build is also on the table for you in the arena. I would also point out that the Argent Defender Paladin is the superior Paladin for healing purposes in both 3s and 5s, particularly in 5s. So this thing is the healing Paladin in 5s because you just need the burst protection even more in 5s than you do in 2s or 3s. So you can do the lamellar, and your healing will be perfectly fine and serviceable. You're thicker on the HP, which is probably even better in the 5s in the arena. And then you can also respec Holy Shock, and you have a really good offensive Holy Shock capability. The other option, of course, is that you go ornamental, and the ornamental suit, despite you not being able to make a use of the Holy Shock, is still really fucking good as an Argent Defender Paladin. If you're going all in on ornamental gear right now, and I'm basically sitting here trying to tell you to take lamellar, it's perfectly fine. The only difference will be that your Hodge stun is at 10 seconds slower. But the stats looked perfectly fine. As we saw, it was 11,500 rather than 11,600. Your mana bar was noticeably thicker, closer to 9,800. You had a little bit more plus healing. It's just your Hodge stun is slower, right? So your offensive capability is noticeably less. And then, of course, if you're doing Holy Shock in the arena, your offensive capability with Holy Shock is noticeably reduced. That's where you really begin to suffer, is Holy Shock in the arena. Mostly because your Hodge stun is on that slower cooldown. Your Holy Shock hits like it hits hard enough. It's not like you're missing a ton of spell power by being four-piece ornamental. It's just that you really lament not having that Hodge stun on a faster cooldown as a Holy Shock paladin trying to be played offensively. But your defensive Holy Shock capability is incredibly good. The other thing I would point out is that four-piece ornamental is the better dueling paladin spec. Because if you're going to be using Holy Shock in duels, you almost exclusively want to be using it to heal yourself. Very rarely do you offensively Holy Shock. It's just not mana efficient enough to be used offensively. But when you use it defensively, every time it crits, it basically refunds 60% of its cost back to you, and it becomes insanely mana efficient. Both due to the plus 30% healing, it's got a better healing ratio than its offensive ratio. The 30%, puts it's really really good when used defensively with four piece ornamental. Okay, cool. So I guess we'll end the video there. Holy Shock Eye is also a thing, right? So if you're dueling, you wouldn't be anywhere near. You would have almost no points in this talent tree whatsoever. If you were a dueling Holy Shock Paladin with four-piece ornamental, your setup would look something like this. I think it's like 2-1, and then I think we basically go as deep into the Holy Tree as we possibly can. We're taking this for absolute certainty. We're probably taking that so we have something to seal twist with a two-hander. We want to try to get down here to Sanctified Judgments, but I forget what we're putting our points into. Humanoids, are we going to be using that offensively? Probably not. Probably this for rogues, and one more for rogues. Might as well take that. Two-handed weapon specialization is not going to do anything for us, so we'll keep putting points over here. Damn, man, I guess I am putting points over here. Oh, hello. Do we ever use this? Party or raid members over, like, Sanctity Aura? Like, I can't really see using that, so I guess we just put points here. Like, I'm at a loss for where the hell I decide to put my points over here, but I do know that we have just enough points to get 3 out of 3 Sanctified Judgments. Yeah, so this is your better duel build in the grand scheme of things. This is your dueling spec and four-piece ornamental and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, but every paladin spec, whether you're dueling, whether you're in the arena, whether you're in... it's only when you start getting into, like, fives, threes or fives, do you stop worshipping at the altar of Flash of Light. So, god damn it, what am I trying to say here? Your stat prioritization as Paladin in TBC is more like breakpoints. You want enough standing effective HP that you cannot be blown the fuck up. You're not an ideal target to be blown the fuck up. Once you have enough standing effective HP, your next BIS stat is plus healing. It's plus healing because you want to bring your Flash of Light online as much as possible because of its insane mana efficiency. If you're not bringing your Flash of Light online as a healing paladin in TBC, you're basically playing the worst healer in the entire game. Shamans are objectively better than you. What else is objectively better than you? Yeah, every other healer is just objectively better than you. Flash of Light is dog ass until it gets enough plus healing behind it that you can actually start living off the thing. And then once you can start living off Flash of Light, even like 50% of your healing is Flash of Light. It's so insanely mana efficient that you become an incredibly mana efficient healer. Once you're plus healing, once you've worshipped at the altar of plus healing as much as possible to bring your Flash of Light online, then it's about your mana efficiency. So you either want even more plus healing so you can downrank your Flash of Light to gain that, like, plus 20% healing efficiency on Flash of Light, or you want to worship at MP5. In my experience, MP5 tends to be a little bit better because it's more tactically flexible. You'd be surprised how often you're going to be holy lighting people, even though you are very, very thick on Flash of Light, just because Flash of Light won't quite be enough healing to keep people topped off, especially under PvP circumstances and under your own PvP circumstances. So you'll have to, like, top them off with Holy Light, and then you're back to spamming Flash of Light again for its mana efficiency. Downranking kind of conflicts with that a little bit The idea is that you're going to do less healing with flash of light in order to be more mana efficient, but that's going to force you to have to cast more holy lights, which makes you mana less efficient. There's a conflict of interest there, so I'm just like, fuck it, just get MP5 and use max rank flash of light as much as possible due to its mana efficiency. What else is there? It's only after all that do you even remotely look at your fucking damage. Are you like, can I kill people? Blah 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 blah. um, Argent Defender is also a weird beast. I haven't showed you this in like duels yet or anything. This doesn't really come up in threes very much, and it doesn't really come up in twos very much if you're not being focused, and it doesn't come up very much in fives at all. But in 1v1 scenarios, Argent Defender may, especially if you've got enough, if you have everything else checked off your box, you have enough healing that you HP that can't be bursted down very easily. You have enough plus healing that you're bringing your flash of light online, and you have MP5 to back up that flash of light. If you have all of that going on, Argent Defender starts becoming noticeably better than Holy Shock. The reason for this is because you do have the HP and the stamina to actually drop down to like 20% life, and then just start flash of lighting yourself. That increases the healing efficiency of your flash of light. It increases the mana efficiency of your. It basically doubles the effective healing of your flash of light. Like the value of it basically gets doubled because of how much damage reduction you're basically sitting in at that point, especially in conjunction with like toughness and holy shield and your 3% increased chance of parrying and blah 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 blah. And theoretically, you have eye for an eye if you're doing dueling and stuff like that, and you have blah 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 blah, right? So in a dueling context, we end up getting rid of illumination. We get rid of divine favor. We even give up healing light. And the reason for this is because in a 1v1 scenario, Argent Defender is doing all of that and more, basically, right? You basically live down at like 20% life, somewhere around there, and just flash of light yourself. That's worth divine favor. That's worth 5 out of 5 illumination. That's worth healing light. Blah 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 blah. So it is very interesting how these things end up playing out. Okay, so I'm basically blathering away. This is like, I don't know. This is like 4 videos of content all smashed together, and I feel like a maniac trying to talk about all this stuff. But it just is what it is. As near as I could tell, what's happened in the grand scheme of things is that I went into the arena at first like with like 13,000 effective hit points in like phase one, and I was like, holy crap, this is way too much fucking HP. I think I went in with like 12,000 effective HP, and I was like, okay, we need to lose like 1,000 fucking hit points because this is way too goddamn much HP. Right, that was the first thing that happened. But I was really happy to see that because I was really hoping I wouldn't have to need all that HP because I was sacrificing my flash of light and a bunch of plus healing and a bunch of MP5 in order to get that thick on HP. So that was the result that I actually wanted from stepping into the arena, was that I was way too thick on the HP. Then the question, of course, becomes what can is what is my minimum HP requirement in the arena? With Argent Defender, it appears to be 11,000 hit points right now. Later, it'll probably be closer to like 11,500 HP when everyone's like fully geared. Would be my guess. Having that 13,500 standing effective HP when you're trying to be burst out is probably much better than having like 10,500 HP. But then the question became, can we get enough plus healing that we can effectively bring our flash of light online? And it does appear to be the case that by going down 1,000 hit points, we are in fact getting enough plus healing to effectively bring our flash of light online. Is this ornamental or is this lamellar? This is lamellar. Okay, so this is final form lamellar build, right? Yes. and this should have an additional like 80. Yeah. So you're going to be like, what is that? 80. Yeah, like 13,500, 13,050 plus healing, on top of the 12% healing, on top of illumination, on top of your free crit heal, which you're probably using while in conjunction with bubble. Really good shit. Really good shit. Yeah. So okay. Then the other thing that I noticed when I stepped in the arena was like all the range issue. The arena was a lot smaller than I remember it being. Again, I was playing with a really fucking good rogue that was probably just slowing everybody down for me. He knew what he needed to do in order to help a paladin out, slowing everything down, so the arena felt like a much larger place. Oh, that was the other thing I need to talk about. You're gonna have teething issues as a holy paladin in the arena. People are way too used to playing with druids and shamans and priests, where they feel very comfortable LOSing around the pillar and just expecting you to be able to heal them like magically somehow. Or so it takes them a while to get used to like the other problem you have as a paladin. Fuck, what am I trying to say here? I need to make like 4 individual videos on everything I've said in this video, which I'll probably do tomorrow or the next day. This is just me, like my findings and rambling with my thoughts. So eventually your arena partner, be that a warrior or be that a rogue, will begin to understand what you're trying to do as a holy paladin. Your goal as a holy paladin is basically to park your ass somewhere so that your arena partner knows where he is in LOS of you and where he isn't in LOS of you. And it's kind of up to him, with you keeping him hyper mobile with your freedoms and your cleanses, that if he needs healing to like cease offensive operations if he has to, and get within a line of sight of you so that you can top him off so he can go back in again, right? Rogues are incredibly good at doing that, and warriors are incredibly good at doing that because both of them can keep their enemy incredibly slowed down. So, the enemy is where you left them, and you also have Mortal Strike on them, so it's not like ceasing offensive operations temporarily is like the stuff of nightmares. Like for a rep paladin, it would be terrible to cease offensive operations because you don't have the mana for that, number one, and number two is there's no Mortal Strike, so it's you got to kill them. Your enemy's going to be incredibly mana efficient, so you really need to kill them in a go, as opposed to there's no option to wear down their mana bars. That's not a thing with Rogue. That's not a thing with Warrior, right? Right. So let me think about this. I went into the arena, found it to be a much smaller place than I remembered it to be. I was like, okay, that's interesting. I figured out how much HP we actually need to have. It's only about 1100. That's cool. That lets us get a bunch of plus healing, bring our Flash of Light online. Once you bring your Flash of Light online and have a bunch of MP5, you're basically good to go as a healer in the arena. And then the question is your arena partner backing up what you're trying to do? And what you really need your arena partner to do is basically 2 things. You need them to slow the fucking world, like crippling poison on everything, hamstring on everything, just fucking slow it into oblivion. And then you basically need your arena partner to understand the concept of LOS, basically. And that can have some teething issues. Like I'm having some teething issues with my arena partner on that a little bit right now. All right, update on that. He is still stuck at like 1650 or 1670 in 2's arena rating, waiting for like his good arena partner to get online because he wants his weapons. So he's not queuing with me right now because number one, I'm not exactly ready to go. I still need to get the rest of that gear. So I'm perfectly happy. Oh, fuck. I need to make a whole video on that. Jesus H. Jiminy Christmas. All right, listen. This video is already long as hell. I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to make an entirely separate video on the arena life and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, end the video here. Days Vault.